Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the HHW Show podcast, the hard hitting wrestling show with your host, Obi-Wan and Hector V in the house. We have an awesome segment tonight. And I tell you what, not only are we just talking about some recaps of the WWE, but I have a show that is very special and dear to my heart and dear to many fans that grew to this community, and is no other than Wrestling with Character. We're going to talk about the lessons learned on that show, where they go from here. Also, we're transitioning to the WWE, and our focus for our takeaway is John Cena. Okay. And I know there's so much that's going on and developments leading into the road to WrestleMania. We're going to cover that and much more. But our first segment, Hector, is Wrestling with Character. And I had told you that I was going this Sunday to the show, and this is my fourth show. Matter of fact, I've been to all the shows that's happened at the VFW 511. That is their logo. And of course, wrestlingwithcharacterlive.com. All that information is on the HHW Show website. And the picture, the main attraction was the real one, formerly known as Enzo, right? And this is a picture of my daughters hanging out with Enzo. All right. And what makes it so special about this show, okay, is that we ended up at the very beginning buying the hoodies as you see there in the picture. Okay. Certified G. You see how colorful that is? Right.
Yep.
I'll zoom it in even more. Okay. But it is the aftermath. Was the aftermath at what happened at the beginning when Enzo entered the ring. Okay. They called his name. He's about to have his match. And this is it's not great pictures, right? Because I was into the moment and I lose focus. But when he came around, okay, when he came around to make that right turn, he ended up hugging my daughters. And what made it so special is when he hugged them, he goes to their ears and say, "Thank you." Okay. And my girls, like, they smiled and stuff like that. And then he went on his business because it was very quick, right? And to say thank you because he noticed that we bought his merchandise. Okay. We're big fans. At least I'm a big fan. My oldest son, Sammy, watched him going through the WWE. My daughters, they just know him because a couple of times they were Northeast Wrestling. And then this is the first time in this platform. And big fans. And this is a sold out crowd, by the way. But for him to do that, that is a superhero. A superhero that is selfless, right? He one with integrity to one show up, right? To be, it's always an honor. Okay. Yeah. We learned this in the army of our army values, right?
Right.
The loyalty, the duty, selfless service, respect, and everything else. This guy deserves all the respect, okay? Because he is there for the fans, okay? And I gotta say this: anybody that's surrounded with the promo with Mr. Kurt, right? I think it's good for business because he knows that it is the product that he's gonna bring, nothing but positivity,
Right.
and he's brought it. Especially at the VFW, especially the community around New Britain, Connecticut, and those that travel to see this event. It is a positive environment, and there's a lot of lessons learned in this show. But for this guy right here, Enzo, I got to give props. He is the real one, and I have to give respect because one, that moment it was emotional. It was right, because you never expect that. Especially and his caliber. He could have been just going in the ring, handle his business, wrestle, and leave. But he didn't do that. And that's what's bad. That's a superhero right there.
Yeah, he's always been, a colorful character, that drew your attention when he got into the ring. We've seen that in the WWE. It doesn't matter if his career was shortened or not. I mean, the man still drew your attention, and you still remember those catchphrases. You know what I'm saying?
SAWFT, baby. Oh, and my favorite one is you can't
T
teach
that.
that.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And so that's
Oh,
very entertaining, you know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
so, I know for superstars like that, sometimes they may feel like they're forgotten, like my
mm,
career wasn't that big. And so maybe people don't know who I was or forgot who I was. But it's people like you and I, your kids who are growing up, and we teach them that, we show them that there's still that appreciation for them to show them that, hey, look, we still like you. You know what I'm saying? You're still
right,
entertaining, and you're still going out there and bringing the product to us. We're enjoying it no matter where you at, on the big screen, the indie screen, it doesn't matter. You're still doing your thing, and we enjoy it. So thank you, for always entertaining us in the
right.
business.
Absolutely. I'm currently trying to upload another picture because something else was special. And Mr. Kirk himself, man,
Yes.
um, dude, got a lot of love from me, brother. All right. He is the promo of Wrestling with Character. And he did something else that it was unexpected. Right. And the funny part is that I stared at this wall and I didn't notice. And I'm about to show you, and I haven't showed you yet. Um, hold on. I gotta. Here we go. It's about to come up right now. So, those of you who don't know, Mr. Kurt's been on the HHW show when he first promoted Wrestling with Character, and it's phenomenal.
Right.
Okay, what's more phenomenal is this one right here. Okay, so if you can see with my mouse, this is my daughter.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and over
yeah.
here is my son. My daughter's hidden over here. Her face is again there, and this is my baby right here. So this is the part with Thomas Santel's craft station, and what that is, right? When you enter the VFW, when you enter the building, first and foremost, everybody's in character. The superstars walk around, whether you're the bully or the good guy, whatever. They're all in character, and it's awesome, and
Right.
the fans interact. Okay, it's not like they go bypass like the traditional wrestling. People are by the tables and want to buy the merchandise or autographs. They're all in character, and they role play throughout the whole time till the event starts, and yet they still at it, right? But this station here, you're allowed to get those little masks, and then you could draw on it, color it, put different designs. That's where that place is at, and
Hmm.
anyone could go there. It's free, right? And back it up before you enter. You gotta have a name tag. Like when you do orientation, they put the sticker on there. It says, "Hello,
Right.
my name is."
Hmm.
So everybody knows your name, and then you forget you have that, right? Hey Hector, and you'd be like, yo, how the hell you know my name? And then you'd be like, oh
Right.
yeah, that's right, I got it right here on my chest. So it's awesome. It's very awesome indeed. And I can't speak so much for Kurt to be able to, one, right? I guess it was meant to be. And I like to say that because there's always this timing, right? Unexpected timing that when I was leaving the VFW and I was with my compadre, right? We were talking about some other stuff. We were planning on his daughter's Sweet 16. Well, he was planning to survey the building to host an event, right? And then you fast forward 4 events later, you know, and you just see the whole thing build up into what it is now, right? And we always see it from TV's perspective, right?
Right.
Until we go to the event, then we're in culture shock. But I've never experienced something that initially started and be the way it is. And I gotta say, Kurt is on right now. Um, his comment was, "I couldn't be happier to hear these stories." There's a lot of stories, Kurt. I'm gonna tell you, and hearing it from the fans, right, and then also seeing the reaction of the little ones
Right.
because it's so awesome. I remember this bully that got in there and he's cheating his way for victory, which we're gonna talk about later. And you see I saw this kid like jaw dropping or the shock, and I'm like, oh my god, like yo, they're into it, you know. and that makes it special, especially when the superstars interact, even during the ring. Okay. But to fast forward, also the funniest part was the chicken dance. Everybody did the chicken dance. And then they were, they had the minions go and they're dancing around the ring, right? And these two kids I was sitting next to, they were doing the dance. They were into it. And I tried to persuade them, hey man, go dance with the minions. No, they wouldn't move. They wouldn't move. They just stayed in place dancing. I'm like, okay, you know. Um, but it is spectacular. And if anyone's listening to this podcast right now, live, and it's gonna be on the audio podcast for Spotify, um, what's the other one? Pandora, iHeart, and Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcast platform, you could re-listen to this podcast and tune in, because wrestling with character is by far one of the best in New England right now. Okay,
Right.
and it's different. That's why it's so special. It's different, but yet you still get the action, you still get the interaction, and it's live. Okay, and these superstars doesn't don't they just don't stay in the back after the show. They're there, and
Right.
you can take pictures with them, get to know them, and then that's the night until
Right.
the next time. So hopefully it gets bigger so we can see more events. But for now, I think it seems like every quarter of the year that we get to see it.
Right.
But it's awesome.
It sounds awesome. I wish I was up in the Connecticut area to be there and enjoy it.
Mhm.
I know, hey, Kurt's doing a great things. You know, it's good. It's good hearing these stories from Ovi, you know, and stuff like that, and continue the great work, Kurt. You know, maybe one day I'll get out there and check it out. So we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, when you get out there, I'm definitely buying you a ticket. So yes, yes, yes,
And you
indeed.
can't teach that.
Big shout out to Lauren Flores. Thank you for tuning in to the HHW Show
How you doing,
podcast.
sis?
And Mr. Kurt, we'll get you on this show soon,
Yes.
I hope.
Again, yes.
Yes, yes. But here's some lesson learned here on the show too, because the first topic, because I was taking notes,
Right.
is that losing.
Right.
Sometimes you're on a hot streak,
Right.
right? Good. You always expect that a good guy will always win, right? A good
Right.
match and everything else. But what would happen when you lose? How would you react when you lose?
To be honest with you, in my younger days, I was not taking it very well. I did not take it well, but because that's
Mhm.
only because nobody taught me about life lessons when you lose. You see, I was always, you know, under the impression, under the assumption that you win, you're always going to be a success. You lose, you're a failure. And see, that's not what it's all about in life. You see, and as you get older and you become more wiser and understanding and seeing it from the perspective of people who have been in those situations, right? And I would like to use the WWE as an example here in a minute, but you know, losing is a tough thing to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow, right? But it can change the way you live your very life. Okay. I mean, you won't believe it, but it can make you happier in life. It can make you kinder. You know, it can make you realize that life is short. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to always go your way. You have to
Mhm.
understand that. Okay, we're just human. It's human nature, and things happen to where we make mistakes, and it costs us whatever it is, right? And so I always from a younger me watching wrestling, when I've seen superstars lose so many times, I'm like, man, they just fail a lot. But are they really failing a lot, or are they looking at the next success in life, the next stage in life to succeed? So
Right.
when you talk about Ric Flair and John Cena, who are 16-time world champions, I don't see 16, 15, 16 losses. I see that they got better and better each time they stepped back up to the plate and won the next title. You see, because each title that they won was done in a different way, in a different aspect to succeed to that, because they could not go back to the old drawing board and win that same way. You have to change things up, you know, and
Right.
I feel that that's how they did it. They were so successful. And yeah, you know, you got other people, you know, other superstars, but I look at them too because they're tied right now at 16 apiece. So.
We're definitely going to talk more about John
Right.
Cena later on the show, but most definitely, and I love how you said it because maybe it wasn't just your day.
Right.
Yeah, you lost today, but there's always tomorrow, right?
Hmm.
Maybe it's the timing that wasn't right, but
Yeah.
for every setback, every stumble holds a lesson, and we learn by reflecting on what we didn't go right.
Hmm.
We embrace the discomfort and
Right.
adjust and grow from experience,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I'm a big shout out to the Little League Baseball that's starting,
Yes. Yeah.
and yeah, next week I get to start with my teenagers. All right. And that's something that I have to, as a coach, teach these ones because you always got the parents pushing their kids to do good, right? And like you, when I was little, there was this motto of you're second to none,
Right.
right? And you only get a trophy at first place. And I understand that, not everyone could be winners.
Right.
No. I mean, there's a winner and a loser, right? And it happens. That's part of the sport. But how you lose? Can you lose and still learn from it?
Right.
On the other hand, can you win and still learn how you won and build on that too? Because there are people that are stuck up winning, 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 and when they lose, they don't know how to lose. They don't know how to react or how
Right.
to deal with it, right? And
Hmm.
then we categorize them as bullies,
Right.
right? And so with bullies, like, why you got to bully?
Right.
What's the whole point? You know? And then when you have those interactions, this is a phrase I heard in Western with Character on one of their lines, and it says, "Don't put my name in your mouth." We've heard that many times, right?
Yep. Yep.
But what does that mean? Right? What does that mean? That sounds like someone standing up to a bully, right? Or sometimes a bully be saying that because, oh, you won so many times, all of a sudden now you lose, and then you like, haha, you lost, right? But sometimes you end up trying to joke around, but then the twist is it got serious,
Right.
right? But
Hmm.
why? Why does it have to be so serious? You were joking before, but now it's their turn to joke, but you don't like that.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah. That's true.
So again, self for a lot of words, right? And unpacking that, one has to have that self-respect. Okay. And words do matter, right? But there are boundaries. And you have to be able to one respect not only yourself, but to others as well, right? We always
Right.
gotta learn that. Yeah, you gotta respect yourself before you respect others, right?
Right.
But we gotta learn how to be peaceful. And everyone deserves the dignity of respect, right?
Right.
So again, we go back to what the lessons learned from wrestling with character because that was another lesson learned. Another one is, why do people cheat? We witnessed a wrestler cheat his way to victory. There was this queen, right? She came in the ring. She was going against a new superstar that I've never seen. I forgot her name, but it'll come back to me, hopefully. And the queen was getting her money's worth. She was getting run down, but she hired this supposedly, his name was Powers. I remember his name. He
Hmm.
was dressed as a minion, and I didn't caught him because he winked at me. Right? He winked at me, and then he winked at another guy next to me, and I'm like, "What is this wrong with this guy?" And then all of a sudden, he ends up holding the other lady's leg, and she fell down, and the queen won 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And then he took his mask off, and it was Mr. Powers himself. And I'm like, "Oh, that guy got me. He tricked me, by the way." And I told him afterwards, "It's like you fooled me once, you won't fool me again."
Right. Right.
But anyways, but why? Why cheat? What do you gain about cheating?
You don't gain anything. If anything, you lose a lot of self-respect. You don't have no integrity by that. Okay, so you just don't have what it takes to win at that moment. You're just gonna have to go back and train harder, study more and learn a lot, just learn better for the next time in order to succeed, but people feel like that's just a shortcut in life, when you're cheating, and it's only gonna get you so far. But one thing I've always learned is that
Mm-hmm.
what's done in the dark is going to come to the light eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to understand that. And so the cheating is only going to get you so far. But when you get caught, what you're going to do when you get caught?
Mm,
What lessons are you learning by cheating? You see, I'd rather lose 1,000 times and learn from those mistakes because eventually I'm going to win. Okay, real quickly, if you ever watched the Charlie Brown growing up, their team have lost so many games in a row, and there was actually one episode that they finally won a game. One game in their whole career. I've been watching Charlie Brown since I was a kid, and they've only won one baseball game. But the thing is, they've learned from their mistakes. They had to figure out what are we doing wrong. But if you just cheat, you're never going to learn anything in life, whether it's a test in school or using steroids. Okay, when you're working out, things like that. It just or just having a wrestling match, and you want to tie up the tights or put your foot on the ropes, you're not gaining any respect from anything or anybody or even yourself. You can't
mhm.
really honestly say you could respect yourself by doing that. You can
Oh,
fool. Some people can fool themselves, but you ain't fooling me.
yeah.
You
And
know.
some people cheat because they're fear of failure, or
Yeah.
they're not enough, right? Or they display that lack of integrity,
Right.
right? And the temptation's there, and when they feel like that's the window of opportunity, they're gonna take it, right? Until they get caught, like you said.
Hmm.
And some people, they do it because they feel like they're unnoticed or unappreciated.
That's true. Yeah.
Listen, you
Yeah.
know, like, you got to earn it, and cheating is not earning it. You just took that from somebody else, right?
And I take that into relationships, you know what I'm saying, into marriage, you know what I'm saying? When you
Ooh,
cheating, okay, what are you doing wrong or what is going wrong in the relationship that you're not trying to fix to see if it's even salvageable, that you're just going ahead and finding self-satisfaction somewhere else that's going to lead to harmful situations down the road. So
right.
you just got to think about it that way. And it could be toxic relationships too in the WWE, in wrestling,
Yeah.
everything, every little thing counts. So,
Every little thing. I feel like we were about to sing a song. I actually thought about a Bobby Brown song. Every little step you
oh
take,
my
right?
God.
All right. Before we go on to the next segment, the last part about this I like to talk about is, why do we look up to heroes?
Mm,
And
yes.
I started the show talking about Enzo Amore, which is the real one, right? And how much I appreciate he is considered every wrestler in that ring is a superhero.
Right.
Whether you're a baby face or a heel,
Right.
we still look up to y'all because,
Right.
one, that's a lot of sacrifice that you do,
Right.
right? Um, but when we look at superheroes, what does that mean to you?
Mm. A superhero. So a hero. I look at that in the sense that it's an embodiment of a quality that I admire in somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Someone that's inspiring me to strive for me to be great, whether they know it or not. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I know that with a hero, someone you're looking up to, a role model or whatever the case may be, that can help navigate life's challenges in your life by just seeing how they overcome obstacles, whether it be in the ring, in the basketball court, on the baseball field, in your home, because family members could be role models,
Mm-hmm.
and usually that down the road, that usually provides hope and a sense of purpose for you in life to achieve better,
Mm.
you know. So that's what I look at. That's how I see it, as being a hero, superhero, role model.
You said a lot of things that matches with mine. And we didn't even rehearse
No,
this,
we did
okay?
not. No, we did not.
No.
No.
Because in my view is they represent what we strive to be,
Right.
right? We want to be courageous, compassion, strength, have integrity. Even
Hmm.
when we feel small, their stories remind us of the greatness is possible, right?
Right.
It's no matter what you go through in life, we always see them as a symbol of hope. Uh,
Hmm.
even dark times, the heroes find a way to light it up for us,
Right.
and they show us how to overcome challenges, and they stand for something. Okay. And when you stand for something, is whether it's justice, kindness, truth, or resilience, heroes hold values that call us higher. Okay. And what I'm saying is that They're bringing out the best version of yourself. And if you believe it, that's what will happen.
Right.
Okay. And that also leads us now to our next segment with John Cena, because I had my son Sammy on the show, and he used to idolize John Cena. I remember the show that he went to, even though Cena was hurt that year, and I think it was in the winter of 2007. The big rivalry was Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho and Umaga versus Triple H. It was a cage match in Atlanta. It was one of those house shows. And anyhow, he received a package from not John Cena, from my cousin. It was a WWE package, and there was a poster, and it was signed. And I thought, oh man, it's just a generic autograph, you know. And the fact, what happened was, when I read it, it actually says, "Dear Sammy," and I forgot in so many words, but it was like a quote of encouragement and John Cena. And I was like, holy molies. I was like, yo, Sammy, you have to frame this, you know, and he will play John Cena's album. And of course, the time is now, burned through every single day, maybe 8, 9 times a day. Even when we play Wrestle on the bed, that song came on. Okay. It was all about loyalty, hustle, and respect. And he had that throughout every competition he had, whether it was weightlifting, playing baseball, football, whatever it is. He always idolized John Cena, right? But now here's a twist. And the twist is John Cena of now. Okay. It's crazy. It's crazy how everything developed the way it is right now. And that led us to a WrestleMania match, which is a main event: Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Yeah, this is very interesting. And honestly, I know we're going to probably get into a little bit more, but I feel like John Cena's winning the war of words without even saying anything to Cody Rhodes.
The message is not even towards Cody Rhodes. The message is
Yeah,
to the people,
exactly.
right?
And that's what's fascinating about this. We so far for the last couple of weeks, he's been coming out addressing the fans. He's not worried about Cody Rhodes. He's not worried about the title. I mean, I feel like his confidence level is at an all-time high because he's not worrying about Cody or that title, because he's saying he's going to win this title. So he's not focusing on that. So
Mhm.
that is a different type of heel in percents, because usually we know the heel is always attacking the face, always talking about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Cena's not doing that. It's like he's addressing frustration over the last 20 plus years to the fans and not to his opponent. Is he making a mistake not focusing on Cody Rhodes? Or is it that he's at an all-time high to where he doesn't have to worry about Cody because the final boss has another plan?
And you know what? I kept telling you, the fingers are clues,
You're right.
right? And before we get to Cody Rhodes,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you some of the quotes that John Cena has said. Who is worse, one that tells the truth, or all of you whose best ideas is to use profanity? That got me right there, because every time people always have to say negative comments. Okay. He used the WWE spinner belt as an example. When he changed the belt to a spinner belt, which I have.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I got a miniature version of it. I got the mini version. It's like my little.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So, right. And by the way, this belt is very, very heavy. Very heavy.
Oh yeah, I know this one
Yeah.
is too.
It's heavier than the old version of the heavyweight championship belt. So then again, I'm gonna have to check what I ordered. But anyways, um, but people booed. People were disapproved of the spinner belt, but yet they bought it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They bought it. I bought it because I'm a fan. Once he said he retired, and I found out that discount they had on the WWE website, I'm like, I'm buying it. right? I got it for Christmas. But anyways, Santa Claus nice to me. No.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh yeah. But but why do people have to use profanity or belittle someone because they didn't like it? So what? What happened to if you don't like it, just look somewhere else?
Turn the other cheek. But yeah, Cena's got a point.
Right.
What's the purpose of profanity? I mean, are you that really built up with anger that you have to, use profanity? And look, I'm not saying I'm innocent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've all been to that point of frustration to where it gets so out of control that we start cussing. Like it's gonna set, like it's a quick satisfaction. It's like
Right.
for what?
I'm gonna take a page out of Pitbull, the rapper slash singer, and he said one of his speeches that I heard on YouTube was, if people ain't hating you, if people are hating you, that means you're doing a good job
Right. I believe that.
because they're jealous,
Yeah.
right? And they always trying to find a way to pull you down, and you just gotta do your best to ignore those things.
Right.
Another thing that John Cena said was, "You watch the poor kid." Remember, he roasted that kid on number one, right? First of all,
Oh, he did.
oh boy, you should have never just stood visual. Okay, that's worse than being on a comedy show.
He got roasted.
But people watch and rewatch that poor defenseless kid, and they got so many views. And he told them, "You guys are all horrible. You guys are horrible people because you like that stuff. It drives you.
It does.
That's not cool."
No, you're absolutely right. But it does drive people because now that's going to make TikTokers, influencers money. You know what I'm saying? By using that. John Cena is pretty much saying, you're welcome,
Mhm.
pretty much. John
Yeah,
Cena's done them a favor.
and
And
he
he,
even honestly, I thought that was shots fired at the WWE. You posted it,
yeah.
right? And then the
Mhm.
people reacted to it. So
Yeah.
it goes both ways, right? Um, and of course, the fans they say what they had to say at John Cena, and his response is, "You make this so easy."
He does. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Because he's even said to the point that you sit here and boo me and cuss me, but yet you're still out there buying my merchandise.
Yeah.
So who's the one that's looking like a fool now? It ain't Cena. It's us
Mhm.
as the fans. We sit there and cussing at him because we got so much built up emotions. We got, and whatever the case may be. But yeah, we're still buying his merchandise. I told you from the get-go, I'm not a John Cena fan, but I sit here with a little tiny John Cena spinner. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's not the man. It's just the character that I was never a fan of. I respect
Mhm.
him, but was never a fan.
Right.
Okay, and now he's bringing truth to light. So all these years, he's always took shots at his co-workers, the superstars. Now the fans are getting a taste of what it's like to be on the other side of it. And he's
Right.
right because unlike Dominic, Cena knows how to control the crowd. Hey, I'll
Dude,
sit.
his words is powerful.
His is
His voice is
even
powerful.
even his silence is powerful because he when
Dude,
he starts
when he
walking
dropped the
away,
mic,
everybody's
yeah,
quiet.
yes.
Everybody gets
Yes.
quiet.
Yes.
You're proving his point. Either you be
Mhm.
quiet and let me talk, or I'm going to walk away and you prove me right.
With
That's all they're
Dominic,
doing.
they probably applaud.
Yeah, Dominic need be back there taking notes. Like, oh wow, okay, I can learn this
Nah,
from John
it's
Cena.
too late.
Oh, I
He's
know.
burned out. You know why?
Is that
It'll
mustache?
only happen if he were to reestablish a relationship with his dad.
He's
That's
gonna
the
have to.
only way.
He'll have to reconcile with that
Right.
first before he
Hmm.
even get the fans crowd back on his side. But
Yep.
yeah, you're right.
But
John Cena is still controlling the
mhm.
situation right now, even with Cody Rhodes. Because why is it that he's talking to the fans and Cody's coming out to intervene? He's not even talking to Cody. Why does
Yeah,
Cody got to come out and get enraged
and
with
he wants
words?
to critique John Cena,
Exactly.
but why are you? Again, this goes back to him saying, "You make it so easy,"
Exactly.
because one, man, that chant with Cody Rhodes is fire. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You don't get that in the United States.
I know, right? That's crazy.
Perfect planning for the WWE. But
Mhm.
anyways, no one's talking to you. No
Right.
one's talking to you. Let him do him.
Right. This
You
doesn't
come
concern
out,
you.
and John Cena stays quiet twice.
Right.
The fight is not you. Yeah, he kicked you in the balls. He did what he had to do. Then focus on that. Why you focus on what John Cena is saying
Why you
when the
try to?
mess is not
Yeah.
at you? You
Right.
should, though, by the way, take notes on what he is saying because you are the face of WWE, someone that's been the face for 2 decades of the WWE. You
Was
know what I
what
mean?
Cody is fueling John Cena. Okay, because what makes somebody dangerous is someone who's sitting there listening quietly. When they listen quietly, they're
Always.
just absorbing all this information. That's why you see the war of words between heel and face. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Cena is the better man here because you're right. He's saying without saying it. This is not about you and me right now. This is between me and them. But you want to intervene, and this is not even your fight. Your fight's coming on probably April 20th
Right.
or probably the 20th, the second night. You see, without even saying anything, this is making John Cena more dangerous than ever before.
Another thing I love is when he says Cena said that he's paying attention. He said he's been quizzing, testing. He's done everything, right? He's observing and absorbing everything. Um, and he says, I know more about you than you.
I believe it.
People would like to throw themselves to him and spill the beans. And like he said, like you matter, right? But the only person that matters is him himself. He's doing the work. When are you going to do your work? You want me to feel sorry for you. You want me to do this, do that. And again, people are going to boo because he is speaking the truth.
And to me, right now, if you was to go to Las Vegas odds on this, I would say John Cena would be the favorite. He Cody is losing the battle right now. And if he continues to take this trend into WrestleMania, there's
Mhm.
no way he's walking out with that title. He's acting like the heel by running his mouth where it doesn't need to be. You see,
Yeah.
is Cody doing this thing so he can get attention because the attention is taken away from him because he's the champion? It almost looked like Io Sky all of a sudden here on SmackDown. Oh,
Ah,
I'm the champion. I
mirror,
should be
mirror
exactly.
image.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm the
Yes.
champion. I'm the one that's more relevant here. But John Cena's taking that away from him, and that's what's making Cena winning the battle of the words.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because um again, we haven't sat down and talked, but the match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes will happen either the 19th or the 20th. I'm presumably thinking is the last match on the 20th. And
Yeah.
if so, then I am going for John Cena to win and
Right.
he be the 17th world champion. On the other hand, another match that you just mentioned, Io Sky is supposed to go against uh Bianca Belair, but I don't think that's gonna happen because now we have a rematch between Io Sky, the champion, and Rhea Ripley, with Bianca Belair being a special guest referee.
Hmm.
Come on, you already know what's gonna happen.
They stretching this storyline as far as they could for the next couple of weeks until WrestleMania. Because
Mhm.
you're not going to tell me EO already signed the contract. So you're not
No,
going to strip her of the title and then not give her the fulfillment of that contract and not go to WrestleMania.
actually, to be honest, if it was an official, you would say that that contract has to be voided because of the fact that somebody else ruined that contract by writing their name all over it. It's like when you write a check, right? Those of you that don't know, you write a check before you had ATM cards and stuff like that, and
And
you had to really write the numbers and spell correctly, and you
and
had
make
to sign it,
and make sure
right?
it don't bounce.
Oh, I remember that story a
Inside
long
joke.
time ago. Yeah, inside joke. But anyway, uh, Monday, this Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. It's gonna be the championship. I'm laughing already. Um, but it's Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. I don't think this match is even gonna end. I think that no matter what happens, it's gonna be a form of a triple threat match because someone's gonna get screwed, right? And I think their egos are gonna be in the way. And it's not so much a Io Sky. I think Rhea Ripley is going to really test Bianca Belair. I
Hmm.
really do. And I think that them two will go at it more against Io Sky. And that's a disrespect to the champion, right? Because she is the champion and you should be able to go after the champion, but she's the forgotten one. And if you want to continue to disrespect Io Sky, odds in favor, I'll go for Io Sky to win this triple threat match.
Yeah, I would too. Really quick fun fact. I thought about this a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 20, I'm sorry, either 2018, 2019, um, when they had the Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT.
2019.
It was either 18 or 19 when
They
that
were
when
they were in the same team.
all three of them were on the
Yes.
same team, but Team NXT. It's like, wow. And here we are, fast forward 6 years later, per se, possible
Well, a
triple
couple of
threat
years
match.
ago, you saw Bianca Belair win the Royal Rumble, and the
Yeah,
last two standing at the time was both Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
right.
And was there what was it? Was there a controversy when they both went over the ropes?
I think it was. Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Similar
Yeah.
to Penta.
Oh my God, boy, he screwed the
Yeah.
pooch on that one.
Yeah. Well, he
He was
he
eliminated. He was
yeah.
eliminated.
Anyways, some more power to that. But again, this Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, once again early.
Yes.
So it's gonna be fascinating there. The next one that might have, I feel like there's a lot of triple threat match coming up, bro.
Oh
Because
my
my
God.
prediction is the United States champion is being defended this Friday. And of course, here in the United States, we're going to get the rerun out of it. The LA Knight defends the title against Braun Strowman, but the Bloodline 2.0 may not allow this match to finish.
Finish. Right.
Yeah.
It'd be a no contest. Yeah. Or the first one get hit wins the match by DQ. You're right. This whole triple threat thing is just, to me, it's just to make sure that everybody has a spot in WrestleMania somehow, some way.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of threes
but why not make it a fatal four with Solo
because of
Sikoa?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, Solo.
Mm, okay, explain why.
Well, you right now, Fatu already knows he feel like he's getting screwed by Solo, right? And this match is not going to end fairly. So Braun Strowman is going to still want another shot at this title, right? I would say Jimmy because he threw his name in the hat, but I think right now with Solo and Fatu, this storyline is not over with, and I think it's too early to prematurely to put them two in a match one-on-one. So why not put Solo in there to make it seem like the odds are against LA Knight, but in fact is going to favor LA Knight because now that can start a feud between Solo and Fatu down the line, and
I
Braun
got a
Strowman.
feeling that if Jacob Fatu gets himself in this match for WrestleMania, Jacob Fatu might be the favorite to win.
You would think, but I mean, if they make it more than what it is, like I said, a fatal four, then he's not going to win it.
But that will protect LA Knight because he don't
Yeah,
have to be pinned.
it would be. Yeah, you're right. It would
Hmm.
be.
Interesting. And again, it's interesting to see how many match cards will happen per night.
Right.
That's another factor there.
Hmm.
Another one that I see that's gonna be there's too many moving pieces on this tag team championship that's
Yeah.
happening this Friday. With the Street Profits, one, they're gonna retain that title against Pretty Deadly, but DIY might give the Street Profit the taste of their own medicine when they were having a match, and then they were always interrupted. Right? They always interrupted every tag team
Yeah.
match. I think that that's gonna happen again, but this time it's not only them. I think I do foresee a fatal four way for the tag team championships at
Fatal.
WrestleMania.
I was thinking like a tag team turmoil or gauntlet match.
But I'm glad that the turmoil came back because that happened
Right.
on Monday Night Raw, right?
Hmm.
Um, I would love to see that. I
Something to
really
make
do.
this interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Well, I
mean,
mean, Montez Ford loves to fly. Could we get
yeah,
a ladder match?
yeah, we could get a ladder match. Why not? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, because this is the most interesting thing on SmackDown going right now is this tag team division, and that's the only thing that's keeping me tuned in on Friday nights is this right here. I
Mm-hmm.
hate to say it because Cody is bland. LA Knight is starting maybe to brew up a little bit going on right there, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of potentials,
Mm-hmm.
But this right here is very interesting and is bringing back, the sense of watching tag team wrestling all over again.
I still
So
need some more bodies, though. I need more
yeah,
bodies.
yeah,
I need more tag teams because we get to see the same tag teams every week,
I
right?
agree. I
And I
agree.
like to see fresh people in there,
Yeah.
right?
Let's
Ma-
throw our names in a hat.
yeah, you want to throw names in a hat?
No, you and me, we'll go in there. Why not?
Let's go. I'm down.
All right.
I mean, I'll be the jobber. I don't care.
I may pull a hamstring the minute I get in there. Be like Vince
you
McMahon.
might be you might be stuck on the ropes. Anyhow, you mentioned Jimmy Uso, but Jimmy has a match with Gunther on Monday Night Raw. I
Ooh,
mean, dude,
the
he
slap,
slapped the hell out of him,
the
though.
slap a heard around the world.
Woo wee. Yeah, but Jimmy is speaking truth to Jay,
Yes, he
right?
is. Big
Where
brother.
is Jay Uso, the right hand man, Jay Uso?
Yeah. Big brother talking to little brother in a sense, because they're twins. I get
Hmm.
it. But he's right. He said it. This version of you is not gonna win. I'm sorry. We need the main event. We need the right hand man. That's who's gonna win this match. He looks clumsy for the last couple of times he's been out there.
Yeah,
But dude, honestly, I'm getting this storyline. They're dragging it too much, man. It's
right.
it's
And
like,
then it makes really Gunther look weak,
it
honestly.
does. It does. I'm like, oh
And
my
then he went against Akira Tozawa. He went against Otis, and it's like this is not your level. This is not
yeah.
Gunther, the one I've seen that was dominated as the Intercontinental Champion.
Right,
It's
right.
always like, please wait until you give up this belt.
Yeah. I
That's
feel
all
like
it needs.
I feel like they're trying to push it too hard. They're trying to be better than what the
I wouldn't
SmackDown
mind if
segment.
I wouldn't mind if they just don't put him on TV.
Yeah. I feel like they're trying too hard they're trying to overtake Cody and Cena. And I'm sorry, that's not
Mhm.
happening. You're losing the battle every time you come out every week. Let's
Yeah.
just let's hear more from Roman, Punk, and Rollins. That's more
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Yes. Yes.
But let's talk about
Um,
these. Yeah.
Another match that I just not entertained. I haven't heard much was these right here, Charlotte Flair, and I didn't. And I'm sorry, Tiffany Stratton, the women's champion. I didn't even really care about the interview. I
Yeah.
really didn't. It just didn't doesn't really have my attention.
No, Charlotte is much better on the mic when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm sorry. Tiffy still got some learning to do to try to have words of war words with somebody like Charlotte, who's a veteran.
Yeah, well, I don't want Charlotte Flair to win,
No,
but
I don't either. But right
yeah.
now she's winning the war words, I
Yep.
think.
And then this SmackDown, we're definitely going to see some words between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth freaking Rollins. And CM Punk had his words to say on Monday Night Raw, and he's going to join these three all again. But are they really going to talk, or are they going to rumble one more time?
I think they're just gonna keep fighting until WrestleMania. I feel like each one of look how many weeks we got left and how many superstars we got in this match. Each one is gonna get a leg up until WrestleMania. To me, this is probably the most hardest match to predict going into WrestleMania.
I don't think so.
You don't
I'm
think so?
sorry. I think the face of WWE is going to win, and that is Roman Reigns. Can't mess with OTC, baby.
You're right, and I'm on OTC side. But the thing is, Seth freaking Rollins, who is a main attraction, right,
So
can't
is CM
seem.
Punk.
But the thing is, he cannot seem to get over the hump of beating a CM Punk or Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. I feel like he's the jobber in this. And
Mhm.
that's not fair to a Seth Rollins, who's been so successful in his career in the WWE and he's established himself.
Whoa, but hold on for a second. Yeah, yeah, but remember, he went to the dark side with that corporate with Triple H and all
I
of them, right? Stab Roman Reigns in the back. That's karma.
I mean,
It's karma.
who in that ring has not sinned in their career. I mean, everybody stabs somebody in the back somehow,
Roman
some way.
Reigns hasn't done anything. What he do? Except form a family?
Cheat his way for the last 3 years to hold those titles and not try to win anything fair and square.
Yeah, but I'm saying that he never stabbed nobody in the back. He's done everything himself.
Okay,
And
I
when
mean,
even when he didn't cheat, he still won.
yeah, I
You know
mean
what I
that's
mean? So at the beginning, he was winning his match. Then it's like, eh. It left us like thinking, especially Kevin Owens, because I felt sorry for him. He has so many opportunities to win, but Paul Heyman always has something else in his sleeve, right? Um, but I get it. I get it. But I don't know, man.
I
Like
just
I
feel like
like all three. I
yeah,
do like all three.
I just
But
feel
if
like
I
they're
have to,
man,
yeah, go ahead.
they're just making Seth Rollins looks weak. Like he
Oh,
cannot get over the hump and actually get a clean win over somebody who's legit. That's
because
not fair.
he has to wait till 2026.
Oh lordy.
Because he's already started the wrong foot in 2025.
I mean, he just won that cage match because of
Because of Roman
OTC.
Reigns.
That's it.
Yes. Yes.
That's the only
Indeed.
reason he won. And
Yeah.
and, and he's got to admit that. I mean, okay, you take a win. A win is a win, but how you take it is null and void. I mean, he really didn't beat CM Punk. I don't know.
Neither one of them, I think at this point, neither one of them could actually get a victory of each other.
But I feel too that CM Punk is all talk and no action because he keeps claiming things and he keeps saying he's the best in the world, but he's not winning anything. He didn't win the Rumble. He didn't win the Chamber,
Mm-mm.
and he wants to blame somebody else.
But his new thing is that he's never lost singles competition to either one of them.
Okay.
They always found a way as a group to go against him.
And that's true because he brought them into the WWE. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But just like John Cena's theme, your time is up. My time is now. Punk's
Yep.
time is running low. He's running low. And we may be
Yeah.
as we I think the OTC is reestablishing himself now as a singles competitor without no title. So this could be another run at it for something else down the line. I don't know. I
I
think
got a feeling
oh,
that maybe I'm gonna start singing. I got
that's
a
it.
feeling ooh, ooh, that if John Cena was to win and become the 17-time champion, somewhere down the line, Roman Reigns has to enter himself and face John Cena again, this time at SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium.
But
A premium live event where John Cena struggles and has his worst record in his career, which is SummerSlam.
he said he was gonna walk away with the title. You're never gonna see that title ever again.
He ain't gonna walk away.
I don't know. John Cena's a man of his
He
word.
gonna come, yeah. He gonna pull a CM Punk. That's what you saying? CM Punk walked away, didn't he? And then he came back with the belt, and then we had a champion versus champion against John Cena. Remember that?
Yeah, well, John Cena, this is farewell tour, so he may say sayonara with the title, and then we have to create a new title. It's like the umpteenth time for a new title.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Just for the
And,
WWE shop to buy.
and you already know.
You better call somebody.
Nah, man, I'm on the internet right now. WWE.com/shop. There you go. I'm in it.
Just wait
I'm
for the
in it.
new title to drop.
Yes, yes, indeed. And speaking about websites, you can tune in and follow us on our website, hhwshow.com. That is our website.
Yes.
And we love, man, we had a great conversation today to talk about wrestling with character, to talk about John Cena and the rest of the development for the WrestleMania matchups. I mean, this is great wrestling.
Yeah.
This is great wrestling. And you can't ask for anything better than this, man. You can't.
No, it's going to be exciting. I mean, WrestleMania is literally right around the corner. So, there it is. The link is right there.
Yeah, there you go. You don't even know your direction.
I don't know. I'm pointing the wrong way. Like I got
You need a compass. That's what you need.
north, south, east, west. I'm
Oh,
the
you still
best.
remember? You still remember?
North, south, east, west. I'm the best. It's
Oh, here we
clobbering
go.
time.
Yeah, yeah. And he's gone, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go.
I'm just dropping bars for the show.
Oh, there you go. Thank you to all the viewers. Thank you, Mr. Kurt, and thank you, Lorianne Flores, and every listener out there. Thank you for tuning in to the HHW show, the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. We'll be back next week and cover more of all the updates that's going on. And who knows what else can happen in these storylines, especially with John Cena or others that will bring us to our takeaway. I'm your host, Obi-Wan, with Hector V. Once again, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or check us out on our website, hhwshow.com. Farewell, everyone. Till
Until
next
next
week.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta love some wrestling.
Hoo-wah.